This program is rated TV PG. Some parental guidance for younger viewers is suggested.
Welcome to tonight's episode of Raw&Redeemed. I am your host, Evangelist Terrence D. Battle. Tonight we have a special guest in the studio, a guy that has been pivotal in my restoration, very instrumental in my recovery. I met him a short time ago. He's been on past shows that I have. We've discussed the power of a second chance. And you might have heard my testimony before on past shows. This is the guy that I give my recovery to. This is the guy that led me to Freeport, Illinois. This is how I became a community member in Freeport, Illinois. He directed me here, and I've been here since that one phone conversation. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Curtis Mitchell.
Thank you, Terrence.
So, Curtis, it's great to have you on Raw&Redeemed. Just understand that tonight, the title of the show is Raw&Redeemed, and the seat you sit in does have fire up under it.
Oh, my God.
So, we call it the hot seat.
The hot seat. Okay.
So, right. I want to get, I told you I was going to get you out here on this show regardless. Whatever I do, I want to involve you. I really like to have you involved. Big up to the Valentines, our spiritual advisors to Raw&Redeemed. There's Mary and Rupert Valentine.
Excuse me.
Just from my point of view, my side, Curtis is a member of my church, Faith Center Freeport, here in Freeport, Illinois. He introduced me to Faith Center Freeport. He also directed me to the Freeport FACC homeless shelter when I was down and out. And again, I say that's the reason why I'm here in Freeport. Before we start, I want to say happy birthday to Apostle Soul.
Happy birthday,
Wish you were here. So let's get started. Curtis, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you ended up in counseling, in a counseling role at the Freeport Area Cooperative Center, short FACC.
Well, thank you, Terrence. And first of all, I want to give praise and honor to God, who
Yes,
is
Lord.
the head of my life. And thank you again, Terrence, for having me back on your show again.
You're very welcome.
I want to thank you and Bob as well.
Yeah. DJ,
happy
big
birthday,
up to DJ
Apostle,
Life.
and DJ as well.
DJ Life and fun guy, cameraman back there, Terry, the fun guy. And as he said, big ups, happy birthday, Apostle Soul.
Absolutely. Happy birthday, Apostle. Okay, to your question, Terrence.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from a family of 13. I come from very humble beginnings.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from Chicago, Illinois. Born and raised.
Yes.
From west side and south side of Chicago, Illinois. My parents came to Freeport ahead of me. I remained in Chicago because at the time, my parents, they came up here, and some of my siblings, they came up here. I was still in Chicago. I was working and attending school at that juncture when they initially came up here. In essence, when I finally did decide to come up here, because I had came up here on several visits during holidays and things of that nature. But in essence, like I just alluded to, when I finally decided to stay here permanently, my mother had taken sick, She had cancer, and which she ended. Eventually, she died from it. But I came up here to the funeral. Well, actually, I didn't make it to the funeral because during that time I was incarcerated, and unfortunately, I was not able to make my mother's funeral.
Oh well.
And that was a sad time in my life.
Yes, sir,
yes.
I understand that.
But fast forwarding, I came up here and I continued my education. I went to Highland Community College to finish my associate's degree, and in essence, I met a career counselor, and he guided me to FACC, and he told me that there was a director by the name of Amy Cordy that was spearheading FACC at that current time. And so, in essence, he asked me, he kind of mentioned, he said, well, Curtis, you might like Amy, because at the time I was just looking to do some volunteer work. And so he led me towards FACC. And I went to FACC and I spoke with Amy, and at the time there was no positions available at that juncture. And so, however, I went to the Workforce Connection, and Workforce Connection, just to show you how God is in the midst of all things. Workforce Connection had this program called on-the-job training, and they spearheaded me to FACC again.
Yes.
So I just imagined that was a divine intervention from God for me to be at FACC anyways.
Confirmation.
Absolutely. And so I worked about 4 or 5 months for Workforce Connection in conjunction with FACC. And so when the contract expired with the Workforce Connection, Amy, she felt that I was a good worker, and so she bought the contract out from Workforce Connection. She bought the contract. And so I initially started out as a case manager. She hired me as a case manager upon purchasing the contract, and she hired me as a case manager. And as I continued my higher education, I got my bachelor's degree in human services through Columbia University. And I got my bachelor's degree, and at that point, Amy had hired me as a case manager. And now, currently, I'm about to get my master's degree in clinical mental health counseling.
What's up?
Yes.
What's up. It don't stop. It don't stop. It don't stop.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you, Mr. Mitchell. There's for those who's not familiar, can you walk us through a little bit of what FACC is and the range of services it provides to the community?
Well, FACC has evolved tremendously from my day one there, because initially when I first started at FACC was primarily a homeless shelter. And so, and my tenure of being there for 4.5, going on 5 years now, for 4 years, it has evolved tremendously because Amy has implemented various programs, like she has implemented in conjunction with some medical people. They do like outreach medical. It's called street medics, and they come to FACC now, and it's not just for clients. It's for anyone that's in need of services. Any medical services, they can just come in and they will be seen. They do prescriptions, they do diagnoses, and just anything that an ordinary emergency room or clinic or hospital would do. They are professionals in the same aspect.
And while we are talking about what FACC provides to the community, I just want to touch on the fact that I met Curtis from FACC. He guided me to FACC when I was homeless, and I made it here, and he was the first guy that I interacted with after that weekend. And he was, as I said, he was pivotal and instrumental in my recovery because we had plenty of one-on-ones man-to-man conversations at the time while I was living in the shelter. I did live in the FACC facility.
Absolutely.
I was there for a short time, but I grew up. My recovery and my restoration started. He also introduced me to Faith Center Freeport, which now, with me not living in FACC, I still come back to the shelter and we provide the street ministry of Faith Center Freeport. We provide Bible study at FACC every Wednesday from 10 to 11 in the lower level of the facility. I even had, I was there for a short time, Curtis, but I end up being a what they would call an RA for the shelter.
Yes.
I even with my restoration and my recovery, I started doing things in the facility to just to know that I had transformed from where I was coming from. But just a little bit more, of what else FACC provides to the community.
So yes, I'm glad you asked that question again, Terrence, because FACC also provides housing. We help clients get employment. They have has implemented a program called rapid rehousing, and rapid rehousing entails it's somewhat like outreach. You know, they can get from anywhere from 6 to 12 clients per year.
Okay.
And FACC, in conjunction with some of the delegates, they pay a client's rent for 6 months, rent free. They don't have to pay any rent, so that gives them a chance to save their money, in case they might want to probably buy a home down the line or what have you.
Yeah.
And it just gives them an opportunity to save money and just progress and become productive members of society as they go along their journey in life.
Well,
and so,
what about the food pantry?
Yes,
also.
and also FACC has a food pantry which is located at 890 West Galena. The food pantry is very instrumental in helping out to the community because, as you can understand, like we all do understand at this time and this crisis that we all endure. Food prices are astronomically high, and I mean it's just another subsidy or a supplement, I should say, to just help people when they're kind of down on their luck or trying to make ends meet, so to speak. The food pantry, and then donations are always welcome because the community is each one reach one, and together we all come together to help the community and help individuals of the community put food on the table and things of that nature. And also FACC is in conjunction with another program, St. Vincent de Paul. St. Vincent de Paul is another program that helps people with rent, gas, light, electricity bills, and things of that nature. Because sometimes people just fall on hard times, on have hardships.
Yes.
And that's just another program that's available through FACC in collaboration with other organizations to just try to help the community.
Okay. I mean, I know that when I was at FACC, they helped me tremendously, with clothing, and they helped me with transportation, even getting back and forth for a bereavement service. So,
Absolutely.
I do know that they are very instrumental in the community, and we will have their information in the credits. So, as we go, Curtis, just walk us through what a typical day would look like as a counselor in the Christian Homeless Shelter and Resource Center.
Oh, a typical day. Well, that's kind of a loaded question, Terrence.
I know it is.
So to speak, because there is no typical day because each day is different. Each and every day is a different day. It's just like reading the Word of God. Like when you read it, it's like reading it for the very first time. And that's the same way with, counseling individuals. You try to help them to reach their optimal level of success, and then try to, as a counselor, you don't give advice or things of that nature. You try to guide them. You try to give guidance, so to speak. And it's like you're just trying to help a person. Whether it's through physical things or even mental, because I feel, and this is me, I feel mental health is so overlooked, and not only in our community, but at the local, state, and federal levels.
Yeah, it is.
It's so overlooked. And they're shutting down facilities. Nationwide.
Yeah.
And it's like you ask yourself why. And so, in essence, you ask yourself this question: okay, if these facilities are being shut down, where are the people being released to?
I'm gonna answer that question for you, because you know why? You just hit the hot seat. Let me tell you why you hit the hot seat on that question. You know where they shipping them to? To the penitentiaries.
Absolutely.
They sending them to and that's from Raw&Redeemed, and I'm not taking that back. They send them to the penitentiary. Mm-hmm. What they do is they cut them off their medication.
Absolutely.
They close these programs down and they put them back in it. They put them back in the communities.
Absolutely.
Knowing they can't function in this community without this medication, they have not been reinvented to where they can come into their re-entry back home with the children and the kids. So they put these people out in these communities, and they know that in a matter of time they're going to be back up to their old thing. And the only thing they can say is we're sending them back to the penitentiary because they never did get redeemed. You know what they did? They made big money out of it. We're not making no money by paying for the medication to feed them to get him better.
Absolutely.
We make more money by sitting and housing them in this cell and feed them lunch, dinner, and breakfast, and let them work for 10 cents a day. That's what they're sending them to. And that just, DJ Life, that's what gets my goat. That's what gets my goat.
And Terrence, you're spot on with your analogy, because people are not being rehabilitated
at all.
There's tremendous programs out there. Apostle Soul, the Yield program, the Change program. We try to get some of our clients involved in the program, and we have clients that has gone through Apostle Soul's programs and come out successful.
You're right. The youngest one we got, from FACC is 18. Is he 18?
18.
I think he's 18. He's 18. We were just talking to him yesterday. He's 18. And that's where I was going. That's why the next thing I'm going to ask you is, that's why it's so... It's the only thing we can do is try to build in the community and create programs that will be able to cover or keep, like what Amy is doing, that keeps
filling the gaps.
People, filling the gaps to where people can get their medication, because if they're not being rehabilitated in the penal institution where they're being sentenced to be rehabilitated to come back home to commit the same crimes, then they need not send them to the penitentiary.
Absolutely.
They need to send them somewhere where they can get help. And I'm so glad that places like the Apostle Soul Ready for Change and the jail ministries and the street ministries and the Yield program and the Faith Christian program, these programs are set into place where there are opportunities, people where you can come and talk and just get the treatment you would have gotten if the facilities would have not closed.
A better foundation.
A better foundation. And all my redeemers, I want you to get on any social media platform, and I want you to type in hashtag I have a voice.
Absolutely.
Hashtag I have a voice. That is what we want you to believe. We want you to keep that in mind. You have a voice. If you are not articulate, if you're not understanding how to express yourself or who you can talk to, you can type in the comments. In the comment section, you can leave us or email Raw&Redeemed, and we will be your voice. But we're telling you right now, you have a voice. Hashtag I have a voice.
Amen.
So Crystal, Curtis, I didn't call you Crystal. You ain't no Crystal. Listen.
That's okay.
That's what gets my goat, DJ Life, because it gets me fired up inside, because it took for me to understand that you are sitting around waiting for somebody to hand feed you what you know you can get up and do on your own. It took for me to put God first for each door to open up in my life. And people wouldn't understand from day one where I came from as an addict, a homeless addict. to being restored here, and the things I do inside the church house and the things I do personally in the community.
Absolutely.
Even with the addictions, I'm free of narcotic, free of alcohol, and as of today, I'm 6 months free of tobacco.
Amen.
So it's all about
Amen.
being able to know your worth. You are somebody. You do have a voice. So, Curtis, how does the Christian Faith Foundation of FACC shape the way counseling and care are delivered to the guests and the clients?
Okay, Terrence, the program that you, Pastor Angie, and Sister Norma, when you guys come there on Wednesdays, I mean, it's a phenomenal thing that you guys are doing, and I commend you guys for taking your time out throughout the course of your week or your day, what have you, and just come down and just be an uplifting to the hopeless.
Yeah.
Because a lot of time people lose hope when they become homeless, I should say. Because I mean, from my understanding, everyone does not choose to be homeless.
It's not a choice.
Everyone does not choose to be homeless. Sometimes some people play a part in their homelessness, but you kind of touched on it earlier, Terrence. I mean, it's like it's having a restoration and a renewing of the mind, and only God can do that.
Yes.
Sometimes we try to do things within our own willpower, and it's not up to us. It's God has to restore.
He
us.
has to.
God has to do that
You have to
restoration.
put him first, Curtis. You have to put him first. For any you have first you have to have belief. You have to have faith. You have to know that he didn't leave you, you left him.
Absolutely.
He was waiting on you to open your mouth and say, "Hey, I need you."
Absolutely.
Because I know for a fact I was there in that shelter, and that's one of the reasons why I was so. Although, I had a reset. My mind was reset, and I rededicated myself to Christ. And as I started coming back as a guest at the shelter for the Bible study, I ended up joining the Bible study team.
Yes.
And one of the main reasons that I dedicate my day that Wednesday, and we fast every Wednesday from 6 a.m. to right now we're only going to 12. 12 in the afternoon, but that's our fasting day. And I come and do that Bible study because I want the people of FACC to know that this is real.
Absolutely.
Just 2 short years ago, I was sitting in the same chairs that you're sitting in this Bible study, going upstairs, sleep with these different attitudes and whatever. I was there. I'm showing you you understand, you see the ladies come in, and you got the Pastor Angie and Sister Norma and Sister Kim and Shirley. They come in, and you see these ladies of God. They come in and they teaching the word to you, and sometimes you feel as if they're judging you. But I'm the biggest access to that table because I'm able to look these individuals from FACC in their face and say, "Hey, I was here. These are the steps that I took to get where I'm at."
That seat.
I'm not going to say that it's going to be as fast for you as it was for me, but I had people that actually held my hand and guided me back to where I wanted to, which as I let go, which is now, as I let go and do it on my own, I'm reaching back to pull you all the same way. Like I tell the people at FACC all the time, I pull up and just stop and talk to y'all. I come see about you. I take you to job interviews. I take you to the doctor's appointment, whatever. I come see about you. I'm not just preaching the word to you and showing up on one day. I'm coming back to show you that the same help that I needed, that I wanted to have offered to me while I was there, I'm offering that help, and I'm trying to create programs that bring me back into FACC to help with the people that's living there. So, Mr. Mitchell, what are some of the most common struggles or root issues you see in the people who come to live at the FACC doors?
Well, primarily substance abuse is one of the primary issues, and literacy, that's another barrier. transportation is also a barrier because I mean, even when people try to get jobs, what FAC does is, if a client, God bless a client in getting a job, we provide transportation for the first initial 2 weeks of transportation for that client until they receive their first check. And then after that first check, they should be able to navigate and be on their own. And we try to instill the mindset of saving money and learning how to be productive members of society again. And you alluded to it earlier, Terrence. These are some of the things that are not being taught in some of these institutions. Some people come back more criminal minded than when they went in. So that tells me that my analogy of that is like people are not being restored or rehabilitated. It's like it's not a part. It's not a solution.
It's not.
It's not a solution.
I don't think we're going to have a solution because it's a big business, Curtis. It's big business.
Absolutely.
People get paid for people that's not on their medications and people that's incarcerated and homeless people and jacking up the rents and everything. I've come to a point in Freeport now where I'm trying to. We're working on a program right now where we're doing an AA NA program, and we're also trying to start a reentry program.
A reentry program.
So that's something that we're working on right now. We're trying to get it to where we deal with. Right now, we're dealing with like 3, maybe 4 different parole officers. And we're dealing with the Freeport probation. So we're trying to implement this program where it would be re-entry into the program. It's going to teach them how to re-enter the family, re-enter the community, and just the basic needs that they would need to survive after being incarcerated for so long.
Right.